Alright, well we've done videos like this in the past, but on this episode we're going to talk about what I'm currently buying. A lot of Double Masters singles are at very low lows, so there's a lot of good cards to pick up right now. There's also some reserve list in here that we're going to talk about, and a couple cards that have discontinued art. We're going to go through all this mail, and I'm going to talk about what I'm buying and why I'm buying it. The video starts right now.
Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who power our channel. Check out our Patreon for monthly giveaways, exclusive content, and even a starring role in our fan fight series. Link in the description below.
Hello and welcome to the day. Thank you for spending your time with us. I'm Jake. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. Today we're going through another one of these videos where I talk about what I'm buying. People on the channel, they always reach out and they're like, hey, what cards are you buying right now? Or it pops up in the Discord and that kind of stuff. And, instead of just opening my mail, putting these cards into binders or boxes and then waiting to move them in the future, I figured we could go through that kind of stuff on the channel. We're going to go through all of this mail. We're going to look through the cards that I bought, and I'm going to give you kind of an idea why I bought those cards. If you like these mail day videos and if you like these openings, I encourage you to click like, click subscribe. It's the best way to support the channel with just the click of a button. If you're so compelled, check us out on Patreon. Any level gets you access to the Discord. We said all the things. Let's go ahead and start off with these guys here. We'll set this stuff up here. And I guess let's just go through this kind of stuff. And I'll just set it in piles because there's going to be some repeat kind of stuff. So let's just talk about these cards. So you see Ancient Stirrings right off the bat. So these are going to all be foils. And I'll just get this open here. Oh, someone is buying cards from Card Kingdom. That's right, I do. Because when you have a product like this, everything's going to be like minty fresh right out of the pack. So Ancient Stirrings, these are Tron pieces. Oh, let's go ahead and fix the camera here. Much better. All right, so Ancient Stirrings, this is a Tron piece. It was played in Modern. If Paper Magic ever comes back, I think I bought these. Let me check the prices here. I suppose that would probably be important. People are probably like, well, what did you pay for these cards? So for the Ancient Stirrings, these were each $1.49 a piece. The Cathartics, I bought 8 of them at 35 cents a piece. Chief of the Foundries, I bought 4 at 35 cents a piece. And then this is kind of silly, but you're just going to see a bunch of foil ever-flowing chalices. So this is just, it has to do with EDH. It's just a good, solid little mana rock in EDH. I bought all of those ever-flowing chalices each at 99 cents. So that's a card that I don't expect to see a huge gain on, but I do expect it to be one of those things that goes up a little bit in the future. The Grand Architect here was $1. 4 Hinders at 49 cents. Merit Lage Token. This goes with Dark Depths. Bought that at $1. The 4 Factories at 35 cents. And then just like some like random stuff, like a couple things for Cube. Rage Reflection for EDH. Teamer Battle Rage for it's just like a fun Jund staple. A good modern card for those at 35 cents. And then Thraben Inspectors, which are also really good in Pioneer. I know some people that play them in Modern as well. The card has a lot of velocity with it. And then just like a foily Thragtusk, which isn't a spec, but this is just for Cube. I wanted to have a foil Thragtusk. So just so you know, the price I spent for all of these cards here that we just went over was $45.53. If I could sell all of those ever-flowing chalices in the future at $3 a piece, then that's going to be $60. So the idea is that, I pick up some singles on the side, move the ever-flowing chalices in the future once that price is rebounded. Now, Wizards of the Coast, they're going to do a lot of stuff in the future moving forward where they go ahead and reprint a lot of these cards into the ground and into oblivion. Engineered Explosives. I picked this card up for, I believe, around $6, $5 or $6. It's just a card that got very, very expensive there for a while in paper. I don't have a copy of it in the collection. So, what better time right now? Double Masters it's going crazy. How low some of these singles are getting. Here we have, I believe this is just going to be like a set of... Oh, okay, this is just... Oh yeah, this was like a small bundle of cards that I bought. But Path to Exile, so 2 Paths, Manamorphose, 2 Mishra's Baubles. These Baubles were purchased at around $5 a piece, Manamorphose around $4, and both these Paths at around $2.50 or $3 a piece. You're looking at all foils here. Mishra's Bauble. This is a card, if you don't know about it, the reason why Mishra's Bauble is so popular is because it's just velocity. For 0, you play a card, which allows you to sacrifice, look at the top card of target player's library, draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. So a lot of people say it's free, however, it's not exactly free. You do have to wait to get that velocity, that draw, but it is a card that in, a format like Modern, when you have a deck like Jund Death Shadow or any kind of Jund variant, mostly we're talking about Tarmogoyf, when you have a card like this is the kind of card that it grows the Tarmogoyf, it nets you cards, which, these constructed formats are all about card advantage, velocity. As you do things, I need to be able to answer them. This is essentially one of those cards where people are going to say, it's like one of those cards that allows you to run a 56 card deck because it just cantrips. Manamorphose is the exact same thing. You're paying 2 to add 2 and draw a card at instant speed. So this is really, really attractive to Storm players. 60 card constructed. Whenever 60 card constructed comes back, and I don't know how it's going to come back, I don't know what it's going to be like when it comes back, but these are the kind of staples. These are cards that you want 4 of. These are not just EDH staples. A lot of the time we talk about EDH on this channel. You like Path to Exile, multi-format staple. It's a foil, and it's an affordable foil. So it's the kind of card that, people that are putting a deck together, nobody hates to pull Path to Exile off the top. It's never really bad to be able to answer something. So we'll just set those up because I know there's going to be some repeats there, but we'll just go ahead and keep on trekking through. And as we have cards that are repeated, it's not going to matter as much that okay. This is just a foil map, and it looks like this person gave me a random extra card, probably just for some sort of reinforcement. Yeah, just a couple commons. Expedition map, this foil, this was purchased for around $2. Again, multi-format staple, EDH likes it. It's that OG art. It doesn't hold as much of a premium, obviously, as the original Zendikar version of Expedition map does. It's a Tron piece as well, which is another 60 card constructed deck we keep talking about, but also played in EDH as well. And this is going to be 2 Basalt Monoliths. So these were each purchased for around $5 a piece, but essentially the idea behind Basalt Monolith is it's a combo piece. And this is the first time that we've had a foil version of it. So while it is definitely not going to be an extremely expensive card, it is one of those cards that is just very degenerate. The things that you can do with Basalt Monolith are very, very silly. Just being able to add 3 and then knowing that you can untap for 3. There's a lot of ways to go infinite with this card, so it is very attractive to EDH players and people that are trying to do crazy stuff. What do you think of these buys? I want you to leave it in the comments. I know that you probably will. We have another path. We've already talked about this, or another 2 paths. These were each purchased for around $2 to $3 a piece as well. So just picking up a play set of foil paths while they're very, very low. Another Basalt Monolith, again, one of those cards that's going to be played in EDH. It's a very attractive card in EDH to anybody who's trying to combo out. Just checking condition on these. And I like to buy when a set is fresh because you have a lot of people who, in my opinion, and this is just an opinion, and it's just based a little bit on my own spending, you have a lot of people that will kind of like FOMO out when a new set comes out. And then what happens is they open cards, and I've noticed this about myself over the years, is you'll have people that buy all of these packs hoping to pull heat, and then when they don't, they just liquidate their singles to try to recoup value. This is just 3 foil near mint baubles. We've already talked about bauble, but it's just velocity. It's being able to dig through the deck. These were all purchased at around $4 or $5 a piece. A very few for around $6 a piece. But just picking up these cheap, I should tell you what these are. These are what you would call the chase uncommons in the set. Whenever a set comes out, you always have like Modern Masters 2017, Iconic Masters was where Bauble got a reprint. Bauble, you have to remember, this was from Cold Snap, and this was a card that non-foil got up to around $40. And this was, pre-COVID when Modern was, in full swing. This was like pre-Pioneer, but then this got a reprint in Iconic, which really did a lot to its price. Path we all know about. Basalt Monolith, again, this is the first time we have a foil printing. And then Manamorphose, this is one of those cards that, oh man, this was like a $15 or $20 common at some point. So you really do want to pick these up when you can, but these are the uncommons. Whenever one of these master sets comes out, these are the uncommons that you really have to look for. They help you recoup that value because these are cards that people are actually looking for. All right, another monolith there, and we're getting through all of this. I appreciate everybody hanging out. A little bit more of a recent pickup here. This is Double Masters VIP. I purchased this for around $30. I want to complete the panorama. I didn't open mine, so I wanted to go ahead and pick it up, and that way I can put all these cards together. But it looks nice. Yeah, brand spanking new, not a blemish on it. That's what we're looking for. Beautiful cards there by Teeden. Love the pastel palette on this piece and this whole set. Very, very nice. Let's keep going through. Another bauble here. We don't need to keep talking about bauble. And I know we're gonna get some people in the comments that are like, this is the reason why Magic cards are so expensive. But I mean, this is just like very, very small gains. And I'm not the kind of collector that's making a huge impact on this market. I'm just the kind of person who likes these cards, likes to be able to move them. I understand the market. And so I like to be able to get as many cards as I can for a cheap price, and then profit off of them later on the stuff that I don't need. I don't need all these copies of Mishra's Bauble, but I know how the market works. I know how these people are. They like to buy these cards and stuff. Little foil Unhinged Swamp. This was purchased for around $5 or $6 as well. Very nice. For those who don't know, I am a black mage at heart. Very into the ambition and do whatever it takes. You know, greatness at any cost, right? Let's keep going. Only a few more here to go over. Let's see what this one is. Oh, this is Ristic Study. So this is just, you know, I talked earlier about this, but some of these cards have discontinued art. And what I mean is, for those who don't know, the artist on this card, Treese Nielsen, will not be doing artwork for Wizards of the Coast anymore. So these cards like this that have these old discontinued art, I do think that in the future, these will hold a premium. Clearly, they're going to commission someone else to do Ristic Study in the future, and they're going to come up with new artwork for this. They already have. There's already a different Ristic Study that's a judge promo. So we'll probably see that start to appear on cards. But this is just a card that I don't own a lot of copies of this, and it's very, very popular in EDH, and I do really like that OG artwork. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh, and this is a little bit of a reserve list staple. And this is the only copy I own of this card, so this isn't me trying to profit off of the reserve list like some sort of scumbag. This is just, I want to get a copy of this card before it goes into the stratosphere. This is Null Rod, and I do need to check the condition on this because this is supposed to just be pack fresh from Weatherlight. Let's see how it looks. Oh yeah, that looks really good. It looks nice and fresh there. I do kind of want to do a little check on this one because the card looks slightly off on the back to me. That's why whenever you're buying these kind of cards, you always want to have your jeweler's loop just in case. I know most of the stuff that I'm buying is legit, but it never hurts to just have this, and it's so easy to just do it with the green dot right on the back. Oh yeah, it's legit. It's totally legit. I don't know if you can see it, but you do the green dot, and then right in there you can see there's a little red L on it, and it checks out. It looks good. Oh yeah. And then what you can also do is you could just check the lettering. Oh yeah, rosettes check out. Everything looks nice and good. I don't know if you can see this, but I will try to show you on here. But you can see that lettering. You see how that lettering is nice and separate for those rosette patterns there? That's what you're really looking for on this kind of stuff. You want to make sure that you want to see those patterns, and you don't want that lettering to blend in any kind of way. So yeah, that looks good. That looks really nice. Little reserve list action. But the reason with that card is, I mean, read it, and mostly, you know, a green deck is going to want this, a deck that, you know, prefers ramp and that kind of thing. But players cannot play any artifact abilities requiring an activation cost. So goodbye all of your mana rocks. And if you do figure out a way to turn everybody's lands into artifacts, oh man. All right, we've got a couple left here. Let's see what this is. Oh, Force. Okay, so we've gone through some stuff here that's like lower end, some medium end stuff, and now we're going to look at a little bit higher end. This is the foil Force that came out of Double Masters, just the regular Force of Will. Go ahead and show that off. Regular foil Force. This is a card that in Eternal Masters, before this got this reprint in Double Masters, this art was, oh man, this was a very, very, very expensive card. It got up to as high as like $500 or $600 for this foil. These foils are around like $160 to $200 right now. So definitely a little bit of an investment into this. However, we just talked about Ristic Study here as well. Same artist. This artist will not be producing artwork for Wizards of the Coast moving on in the future. So the Fisher version of Force of Will, they're going to figure out, or maybe that Judge version of Force, they're going to figure out who's going to start doing Force of Will art moving forward, and it will never be this art again. So for me, this is just kind of like a little bit of a no-brainer pickup. And I do get it, you know? Jake, that's an expensive pickup, man. What did you pay for that card? You know, I think I paid around $200 for it. I got one for $180 as well. And then I opened one. If you want to watch that video, I'll put it in the cards. And this, another one. All right, so another foil Force here. This is just adding this to the collection. I want to have a set of these. I want to have a foil set of these Forces. Let's make sure this one looks good too. We'll go ahead and get it out of here. Looks good. No, nothing on the surface. Okay, cool. I need one more foil Force that I need to acquire, and then I will have the set of them. And then this last one, I wanted to kind of highlight this because this was essentially somebody just folded a piece of paper in half and turned it into an envelope, and then they even paid for the first class packaging, but they didn't put the cards into a top loader. And so in transit, there's a bump here. You can't see it, but there was like a dent or something happened where the card was in there. Oh God. Well, it probably isn't any worse than me dropping it on the ground right now. But I don't know if you could see it, but there's a small dent in that Urza's Tower right there, and there's a small dent right behind it in the Mishra's Bauble. So they essentially just double sleeve this, or put two cards in one sleeve, and then didn't send it in a top loader, and both of those cards suffered a little bit of damage in transit. But that's okay. I'll just save these ones for playing. There are some of these cards that I acquired to play with. And so, yeah, anyway. I just wanted to talk about all of these. If you have any other questions, leave it in the comments. I love to talk about it. We could talk about why I bought these cards if you have any additional questions about that. I'm just going to get these in the binder, and until next time, I will see you on the flippity.